Hey everyone, welcome back to Bit by Knit with me, Jenny. I'm here with you guys today on the west coast of Canada in beautiful British Columbia. And today is February, something like the 17th or 18th or middle of February. Today I have a normal podcast episode. I'm going to be showing you guys a few finished objects. I've been pretty busy trying to get all of my WIPs, my languishing WIPs and everything off my needles so I can start some new projects that I'm super excited about. So I've gotten a good amount of my WIPs close to the finishing line, and that's really exciting. I've got just three. I've got 3 works in progresses and an acquisition. Yes, I do. It feels like it's been longer than 2 weeks. It's so strange. I made a commitment for this year to try and record every 2 weeks. And it feels like it's been longer, even though when I was doing a month plus, it felt like it was shorter. So I don't know what's going on, but here we are. It's only been 2 weeks and I've got lots to share. I've got my dog judging me today. You can't see her, but she is not impressed that my window is closed, that the blinds are down, because I have to sit to try and get the best light. I found that the best place is in my living room, and I've got a big bay window, and I don't need the neighbors watching me do a recording, so the dog is not impressed. Anyways, I'm going to start with what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing my Fidalgo cardigan by Michelle Frazetta, Mishy Fraz, on YouTube. I did this as a test knit for Michelle Frazetta back in May, May of 2025. I think it was the end of May. I started it actually on May 31st, and I finished it on July the 16th of 2025, yeah. So that would have been about a month and a half I got this done. I did the size... I knit the size 3 and I used 4.5 millimeter needles for the whole cardigan. Yeah, for the whole cardigan. I didn't size down at all for my cuffs or the ribbing at the bottom, and the button band is part of, like, you're not adding the button band after, you're knitting the button band as you go, which is really handy. It is in a broken rib stitch pattern and I love it. It fits perfectly. I did the size 3 so it wouldn't feel so too loose. I just have it hitting me right at my hip. Perfect length. It's longer than shirts that I wear typically, or I tuck my shirts in, so it's longer than that. And yeah, I love the fit of it. I love the feel of it. It's super comfortable and warm, and I thought it's perfect for a day like today when it's actually pretty sunny here today, but it's cold. Cold and sunny. We actually got snow a couple of days ago, which is the first time we've had snow in this whole winter season here. So yeah, anyways. The yarn I used was Bramble Ridge's Merino Yak Silk, and the Merino Yak Silk is a fingering weight yarn, and this is a DK weight pattern, DK or worsted weight actually, weight pattern, so I ended up holding it double to get the right gauge, and it is in the colorway Thunder. She actually has that colorway in multiple different blends. She has it in her Merino Yak Silk and just her normal sock yarn and her DK yarn. Anyways, I think also her Surrey. So for this pattern, it's a drop down, and for this cardigan, it is, you start at the top, you're starting at the top back, and you're just knitting it down, the individual front halves and the back until you reach just below the under, till you get to below the armholes, and then you're joining it all together and just knitting it down, and then you pick up for the sleeves and knit down in the round. And yeah, lovely pattern. I love it so much. Actually, it's funny because Michelle Frazetta, she's been posting on Instagram that she wants to do an anacortes knit along, which is a pattern similar to this. It was her first of the broken rib stitch patterns. She did the anacortes pullover first, and then she came out with the Fidalgo cardigan. Anyways, the anacortes has a bunch of different patterns. She has the pullover. I think they're doing a cardigan test knit right now for it, I believe. There's a sock pattern and I think a hat pattern. I could be way over remembering. Anyways, she's going to be doing a knit along, and I'm super excited because I have that pattern and I really want to knit it. So I'm hoping to be a part of the knit along for that. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this cardigan. So my first finished object I want to talk about is my Oslo hat. Last episode I was showing it, and it was a work in progress, obviously, and I wasn't sure if I was going to continue knitting on it or rip it back because I wasn't happy with how my decreases were looking. What the issue was is that I was using yarn I got from Kensington Prairie Farm. It's a mix of, oh, I don't think I wrote it down. It's a mix of alpaca and silk or something like that. I got it a couple of years ago, or at least a year ago, and I think it was already old to begin with, and they didn't sell that blend anymore. So I decided to use it for this hat, and I was running out. And so my option was, you know, frog it, use the yarn for something else, or find something else to finish the rest of the hat in. And what I ended up doing was I ended up buying mohair to go for the rest of this hat to knit the last little bit. And I bought 3 different colorways, like 3 different browns from Sandus Garn of their soft silk mohair or whatever, or tin silk, whatever it is. Anyways, it's their mohair to knit the top of my hat. And I was finding that because it was mohair, it was more gapey, and I thought it was looking really, gapey on the decreases. But then I did, after that video, I did just knit a few more rounds just to give it a bit more, just to see if it cleaned it up a bit, I guess, because I'd only done 5 decreases when I was making that judgment call. So I just wanted to be certain before I ripped back. So I did a few more decreases, and it actually looked more cohesive and better, and you could actually see the decreases instead of like the gapiness, and I can't even see gapiness anyways now. So I'm glad I finished it instead of frogging it, because it looks really good, and I can't, like I said, it doesn't look gapey at all anymore. I'll bring it up close here. Yeah, they just look like normal decreases now, so I'm glad I finished it. And then I blocked it, and maybe that also helped fill it out. And the browns look really similar in color. If I really look at it in the certain light, I can see that the mohair looks a little brighter than the Kensington Prairie Farm brown, but on the whole, like, you don't really see the difference. I don't know if you can tell on camera any line there in the difference, but I can't really tell unless I'm really looking for it. It is fuzzier though. You can tell that it's a different yarn because it's got the halo effect, whereas the Kensington Prairie Farm doesn't. So anyways, I knit it, I finished it, I blocked it, and then I put it on, and it's too big for my head. So that was the next slight issue. It's a bit big. It's quite big actually for my head. So I gave it to my husband, and it fits him perfectly. So it's a win that way. He has a better hat than the last one I knit him. He says it fits better than the one I knit him years ago when I first started knitting. And it's not as itchy as that one, which is kind of surprising because this is a natural wool. And I believe the one I knit him beforehand was an acrylic. But yeah, he really likes the feel of this one. So that makes me happy. So it's his hat, and it works, fits him perfect. I didn't actually snap a picture of him wearing it, but he has worn it. He wore it on the one cold day. And yeah, he didn't have any issues with it being itchy, so that's good. For this hat, I should say it's a petite knit pattern. The Oslo hat's a petite knit pattern. I decided to change it up a little bit. I did a 2x2 rib instead of, it is a stockinette hat pattern, but I decided to do a 2x2 rib just to give it a bit of texture. And because when you're doing the Oslo hat, you knit a certain amount and then you join the cast on with your live stitches to be able to do a folded brim. And I did that at first, and my join was so terrible. I could not see my stitches. I couldn't line them up properly, so it was like bunching, and it was just terrible. So I ripped it out, and I decided to do the 2x2 ribbing because then I can actually see which stitches I should be picking up for which live stitches I already had on the needles. So that was the main reason. But I like the look of it. It's nice and chunky. It looks really like it's really squishy and warm. So yeah. 2x2 rib, and then the rest is in stockinette. So yeah, I think, do I have anything else to say about this? I knit the size 2 in this pattern, which I think is the first of the adult sizes maybe. Yeah, so that's all done. So I did finish that one, and I'm glad I finished it instead of ripping it out. So success. Oh yes, and I should say I started this on December the 25th, and I finished it on February the 5th because I'd put it down for such a long period of time because I wasn't sure about those. Well, first I had to get the other yarn to finish it, and then I wasn't sure about those decreases. So it did take a bit of time. Normally I would have probably finished it a lot faster. And because I had to rip it out once too, that added to it. Okay, so then I also have another finished object that has not been seen at all on the podcast. After my last podcast, I had an impulse cast on. I have an aunt who requested knit socks. She wanted woolly socks, and I knit her a pair, but I was wanting to knit her something a bit more warm and cozy, and I found a pair of free slippers, a felted slipper pattern that was free. So I thought I would use that felted slipper pattern to try and knit her some slippers. It's actually the one from Santa's Garn. It's called the double slippers. It is free pattern. I think I got it from the Santa's Garn website, though. It's not on Ravelry for the actual download, but the pattern is free, and it's like you're knitting, I'll show you how it looks unfolded. You knit the two sides, and then they go inside each other. They like fit into one into the other, so it's a double layer slipper. The pattern is a felted pattern, so you're knitting it kind of like if you've seen those sailor slippers. It's the same sort of idea. You knit them larger and then you felt them and they shrink. So that's what I did, and I have them both finished here. I'm not too happy with them though, and I'm not too happy with them because, well, I did a gauge swatch for them. So this yarn I used, it's the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I had it from way back when I knit my husband a sweater for him. I had a bunch left over, and so I thought I'd check to see if it felted, and it does. And I did my little swatch and I felted it, and it felted really nice. And so I decided to use this yarn because I have a good amount left over that I don't really know what to do with. So that's perfect. And so the pattern itself is a little confusing, and there's actually somebody on Ravelry who had written out a better explanation for it. Was mostly for doing like your decreases. It was kind of confusing because they kept switching where the beginning of round was, and it wasn't intuitive. And so that was a little complicated. Once that got sorted out and I could figure that out, it took a bit of time because it was confusing, then I'm just like, well, it wasn't enjoyable because of that confusion. And also I had a hard time understanding how to do how to knit up the back, because you have this like your knit on stitches, your cast on stitches, and then you have to fold them up and then fold them again to make the heel part. And that was kind of confusing to me. So that took a bit of thinking. And there was no real explanation in the pattern of what they meant. They just made an assumption that you would understand what they meant, and I didn't. So that was a bit of, I just didn't, it's a free pattern, so whatever. I just didn't think it was very clear. But I got them both done, and then it did take several washing machine and dryer cycles for this to felt. And that's the yarn, of course, not the pattern. But I knit them both identical. They're both the same size, but one is clearly bigger than the other still. And I might just try to felt this one more. This one just felted a lot more, I think, than this one, even though they both went through the wash the same amount of times. But this one is still quite a bit bigger than this one. And this is the size, like this size would fit her. She's got small feet. It fits my feet. I've got small feet, and my aunt does too. So this one would fit her. But I also don't like how this part looks. If I remember, I'll take a picture of how it looks on my foot. But I just find that this is really low on the top of my foot. It feels like not a good amount of the top of my foot is getting covered. And I don't know if it's because it's too felted and too small and I'm cramming my foot in there. It doesn't feel like I'm cramming my foot in there. But like, and then this huge amount, I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to even gift it to her after all is said and done. I don't wear slippers. My feet get way too hot. I can't wear these kinds of things. I just can't tolerate it for very long on my feet. Even my knit socks, I can only get away with for a little while. And then my feet get too hot. So I definitely can't just like, oh, I'll just wear them. No. So either they get gifted or, I don't know, I give them to Goodwill. But yeah, I don't know. I'm almost tempted to buy the sailor slipper pattern and see if it's any better for fit than these ones were. Because if these fit well, I don't mind going through the hassle of making them again now that I know what is expected and how to make them. And I wrote my own notes to really make it clear on what I did. But yeah, I just don't like how much space is here. Anyways, all that to say, they're done. I'm not 100% sure if I'll gift them though. And I still have a ton of the yarn left. I still have almost 2 full skeins of it left. So I can still felt another pair anyways with it. Which is why I thought if I tried the sailor slippers, it would give me a good idea of which pattern I prefer more. This is free. The sailor slippers isn't a free pattern, but at least it would be, then you know if a paid pattern would be more worth it than the free pattern, I guess. So that's my possible flop of a finished object. We'll see. Like I said, I might try to felt this one a bit more and see if they're more even. On to a more exciting and successful finished object. My skeeter skirt is done. Almost. I'm counting it as a finished object. I'm counting it as a finished object because it's all knit. I just have to add the pockets. Pockets still aren't in. But otherwise, she's all done. And I'll put up 2 videos. I've got a video of me wearing it before I block it, and I've got a video of me wearing it after I've blocked it. And you can see the difference in the drapiness of it. I was trying to find out online how long to block silk, and everywhere just said 20 minutes, nothing extra, so that's what I did. Anyway, skeeter skirt. This is the skeeter skirt by Maya Daglon. Maya Tinks on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel called Maya Tinks. This is a size inclusive pattern and also a gaugeless pattern. Yes, size inclusive gaugeless pattern. You start with the waistband, and you just do a double knitted waistband until it reaches the size of your waist, and you put an elastic band in after to make it, stretchy. And then you're picking up stitches all along the waistband to be able to knit down the skirt. And it has the options for the pockets, which I put in. You don't have to, but the option is there. So if you're doing the pockets, you just knit back and forth on the front and the back for a little bit until they're deep enough, and then you connect them around and away you go. And it's just increase rate dependent on, I think it's dependent on the weight of your yarn, but also on if you want it to be a full flare or a half flare or something like that. It's all based on the flare of the skirt. I can't remember which one. I thought I did like a partial flare, but it's a pretty flary wide skirt in the end. But my increases I thought were more lined up to the partial flare. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm super happy with it. I'm so glad I finished it. I was so nervous about if I would like it, and I hummed and hawed about frogging it several times. That's why it took me such a long time to make. I started this on April the 12th, 2025, and I finished it on February the 4th. So that was almost a year. And I think out of my languishing WIPs, this is my first successful languishing WIP that I finished. I used Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Deep Petroleum Blue for this knit. I was holding it double, and I was starting it off with 3.5 millimeter needles, holding it double. I think I did that on the 3.5 until after the pockets. And then I was noticing that the fabric was just so dense, and I was worried that it wasn't going to be flowy enough, drapey enough, that it was just going to look like a really thick, uncomfortable, whatever skirt. So then I decided to put it down. That's when I was thinking of frogging it, and I was like, well, why don't I just change my needle sizes instead? So that's what I did. I started switching my needle size I went from a 3.5 up to a 3.75 to the 4 to the 4.5. And I was worried that it was going to really be obvious. I mean, maybe you can notice a little bit of a bumpiness, but it's not really obvious at all. Maybe not. No, I don't think it is. So that was good. And then when I got to about here, I was noticing that I was getting really low on yarn. And so then my thought was, okay, so now I have to decide on if I you know, if I knit it short, which I didn't want a short skirt, or, you know, what I'm going to do to manage my yarn. And I thought I was going to, I kind of planned to do a mohair bottom. And I thought that would look really cool having a mohair bottom part. And I almost went with it. But then when I did the Oslo hat and I used the mohair on the top, I noticed it wasn't enough of a difference to be able to be like, oh, that's so unique. You used a different material for the bottom of the skirt because it's not obvious on the hat. So I'm like, well, then what's the point? And then it was like, well, I could also buy more of the deep petroleum blue, but then what if it's, the dye lot is obviously going to be different, and what if it's an obvious line? I didn't want that. And so what I actually ended up doing was I dropped one of the strands I was holding and I just started holding it single. And I can tell from here, it's about this much where I held it single, from about where my pinky is down. And it is obvious to me to look at here. I don't know how obvious it is on camera, but I can bring it up close to see if it's a bit more obvious. Yeah, I think you can tell a little bit on camera, but like when I did my recording of me wearing it, I didn't notice in the recording. I mean, I'm looking at it on a small screen. Maybe if people are watching this on a bigger screen, it's noticeable, but yeah, I couldn't tell. And even if I could, I don't really care. I think it's a cool look. It's like, gives it kind of an airy, fun bottom part of the skirt. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm so excited. I get the pockets in and then I can wear it, and lovely. And it feels so nice too on. Like just even for the little stints I was doing for my videos of me wearing it, it feels so soft and drapey and airy and lovely, and yeah, beautiful. Very happy with it. And my last finished object also brings me into my works in progresses, I guess, because it is one of 2 socks. I finished my first sock here. I think it's a little bit shorter than I meant it to be at the cuff here. I just went a little shorter than normal, but it still fits over my ankle fine. But this is my, it's just a, it's almost like a, I shouldn't say it's a vanilla sock. It's not just stockinette stitch. I did some ribbing on the top of it, but it's just stockinette on the bottom. And then I did a 3x1 rib pattern. And then after I put the heel in, I did 3x1 all the way around. It's a toe up sock. And the yarn is a self-striping yarn from, is it this one? Yeah. From the Wool Baron. Sorry, the Wool Baron is Tropical Staycation. Sturdy sock, 75 marine, like superwash merino, 25 nylon. And I was trying to find out if they're still a business, and I couldn't see anywhere online that they still sell yarn. So I don't think that they're in business anymore necessarily. But it's beautiful. I love the colors of this sock. And for my contrast heel, toes, and cuffs, I just used, for the heels, toes, and cuffs, I just used yarn from Crafty Jack's Boutique. I can't remember the colorway name, but it's their Tough and Tender yarn. It's like, I think it's 90% Targhee and 10% nylon, which I really like for the heels, toes, and cuffs. Just in this nice neutral kind of off-white, grayish looking color. I still have a lot of the first skein left. I haven't cast on my second sock yet. Come here. But this is how much I still have left of the first skein. So I think I can get a second, I definitely can get a second sock out of this. So my plan is to knit my next sock with my other ball of yarn, because I've got it right here. And then once this second sock is done, I'll go back and knit the third sock, I guess, out of what's remaining here, and then out of what's remaining here as well. And I'll get 2 pairs of socks out of this little nuggets of yarn. I was gifted that from Megan at Bramble Ridge. She made a pair of socks with that yarn too, and then she just had some leftovers that she wasn't going to use, so she gave it to me, and I get to make socks with it now. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, just one sock done. I haven't actually started the second sock, so kind of work in progress as well, even though I haven't technically cast it on. It's only half a finished object, so yeah, we're counting as also a work in progress, yes. Okay, my next work in progress is the Nantucket wrap. I've actually gotten a good amount done on it since the last time I showed it. I think the last time I showed it, I had done 1.5 of these sleeves. Where's my other height? Okay, yeah, 1.5 of the sleeve holes. But now I've gone from the sleeve hole all the way to about halfway across the back. I have about half more, like about this length more to do before my next arm hole and then the bottom. So I'm about halfway done this project. I've got my colorful end here. This is I'm doing a terrible job of sourcing my garments here. This is the Nantucket wrap by Michelle Frazetta, Michi Fraz on YouTube. And so I'll try to show how this is supposed to go because it's kind of confusing unless you see the picture of it, which I will have put up too. But you like put your arm through the sleeve, this goes around, and this hangs down. So you got your nice kind of deep sleeve hole here. This will go all the way around, come down. I'll have another sleeve hole here. Yeah. So that's getting some good work done on it. I really want to get this finished and my next work in progress finished before I cast on the 3 things I'm planning on casting on soon. So yeah, kind of a time crunch, if you will, but not really. Anyways, I'm using Drops Nord for the yarn. I've got a bunch of this like beige color that I'm using for the main colors, and then I bought Drops Nord, 1 skein of each of these contrast colors, like brick. This one, I don't remember the names of them, a blue or green, whatever. If I want, or maybe I'll post the colorways here. Okay, I think that's, what else about this? Oh, you know what? I did write down the names. There we go. Let me say the names. Okay, the blue is Deep Ocean, Forest Green, Goldenrod, Rust? No, yeah, Rust, I think, and Brick Red, or Brick Red and Rust. And then the beige is just light beige. I'm using a 4mm needle to knit this up. It's a broken seed stitch pattern. Okay, and my last WIP that I want to share with you guys today is my Daft Days cardigan. Here she is. I should show you the back instead of the inside. But I've got, the whole body is done. I did the 3 needle bind off on my shoulders. They're both connected, and I'm, at least 3/4 of the way done the first sleeve. So she's getting there. Yeah, you know what, let me put this on. Oh, hopefully you guys could see that okay. I didn't think to record myself trying it on earlier, so I thought I would quickly try try it on now, but then I forgot I had the microphone on this cardigan, so I had to be silent so you guys didn't hear like me bumping the microphone or whatever. Anyways, so she's, I still have about a quarter of it to go. I'm a little nervous I'm going to run out of my colorful yarn. I thought I would have plenty of the contrast colors, but I don't know why, I'm going through the orange really fast and I'm worried I'm going to run out. I mean, it's not a big deal. I know I can get more. I just didn't want to have to. But anyways, I'm using yarn from Bramble Ridge. It's Bramble Ridge. Megan at Bramble Ridge, she made a bunch of neons last summer. And so she has a DK neons, like 100 grams in DK, 100 grams in fingering weight, but she also has like a sample pack. I think they're 50 grams in the sample pack of the neons. And so she gifted me a pack of the neons, and I bought her fingering weight sock yarn in her colorway Linum as well. And I'm holding these double to get a DK weight gauge for this cardigan. And I'm doing a terrible job again. Daft Days Cardigan by Rebecca Clow. The Creabea is what this pattern is. I'm doing the size 3, the size C, which is the third size, and it's in 3.75 millimeter needles. I started it, I didn't write down when I started it. Did I? Nope, I didn't. That's okay. I'm doing the size 3 except for the sleeve, I should say. I picked up for a size 4 sleeve, and I'm glad I did because I don't know if you noticed, I've got a bunch of my light bulb stitch markers here showing my decreases. It's actually quite a lot of decreases that she has in the pattern. And so it fits pretty snug on the arm. And she was warning about it in the pattern that some of the test knitters found that the size that corresponded with the cardigan size was a bit tight in the sleeve. So she recommended maybe going up a size. So I did. And I'm glad I did, but I'm still worried it might be a little tight. I think once I block it, I'm hoping it'll stretch out a bit. I'm not really, like even just stretching it like this, it's not really doing a ton. So I think it's just going to be a fitted garment. That's okay. It's worked bottom up, and you work it bottom up, but then you are at least working the sleeves in the round. So it is a labor of love for sure. It's a slow growing pattern because it's a slip stitch pattern. So it takes a long time to get any growth on it, I found. And it's been one that I just have been not enjoying as much as I thought I would. So I haven't been wanting to knit on it. But then I'm like, I really, really, really want to get these off the needle so I can start my next projects. So I'm trying to finish it, and quickly. I don't know. I've never done a 3-needle bind off either, but I think I did a pretty nice job on my 3-needle bind off here on the shoulder. So yes, we're getting there. So after I finish this sleeve, obviously I have to do this one, and then my button band, and then I'll be done. I'm almost thinking, because now I'm back to the orange color next. I just finished the yellow. I have to do a little bit of the Linum, and then I'm back to the orange, and that's the one I'm afraid I'm running low on. I almost feel like I might put my stitches on hold and pick up for the other side and get all the way down to where I am here and see where I'm at with the colors. And then if I need to, maybe just do the Linum, or I don't know. I don't want to mess up the color. It's such a, I'm already past where it would hang, I think, on the body. So I was trying to make sure it lined up with the body stripes. So I've got like the orange, the pink, the purple. I got all the way down to, yeah, I'm like 2 stripes beyond where the body is. So it wouldn't matter that much. It won't line up with the body striping anyways, because it already does. And we're beyond that. So maybe it would be fine if I started just using the Linum for the rest of it, but I think it might look a little funny. I think I might have to bite the bullet and just get some more of the orange. And if I run out of any of the other colors. Did I do way more orange than I did other stripes? I don't think I did. I don't know why that's the one I run out of. Weird. Anyways, hopefully this will be done by the next time my podcast. Okay, And then on to acquisitions. A friend of Megan's, so Megan at Bramble Ridge, one of her friends opened a yarn store in the Lower Mainland. It's called the Woolly Bulldog. It's in Fort Langley. And so I went to her grand opening weekend. I went on the weekend of her grand opening. I was able to peruse the store and I bought a few things while I was there. It was really exciting. And she's actually, her name, the name of the store is the Woolly Bulldog. She's doing an amazing job with like her advertising and showing what she has in stock and stuff like that. So it was like super exciting to be able to go and experience it. And she actually had quite the lineup on opening weekend. Because a lot of people are interested in supporting her and yeah, getting to see the new store and everything. So anyways, I went and I bought a few things. I really wanted to get these sock blockers that she was gonna have in her store. So I was very fortunate to be able to get a pair. I think she actually sold a lot because there wasn't too many left when I got there, but I got a pair of sock blockers from her. She had a bunch of different sizes. This is the size small. It's from Melly Knits. And yeah, I'll bring these up close. They're showing pretty dark blue, but they're actually very like a light, almost like a teal, but like a light blue in color. So I got those. And then I also ended up buying some Knitting for Olive yarn while I was there. I wasn't meaning to buy yarn. I knew I wanted the sock blockers. I went to also look at buttons and I didn't quite see what I wanted for buttons. I wanted to see if she had some specific needles, but I didn't quite see that. I think she's planning on getting some in though for what I wanted. Was there anything else? And there was like a couple things I had in my head that if she had it there, then I would get it, but I wasn't sure if she would even have it. So it wasn't there that I could see, but that's okay. Anyways, so I decided to buy yarn instead. So I bought some Knitting for Olive yarn. I bought Knitting for Olive merino and the soft silk mohair in the colorway Plum Clay. And I got 5 skeins of each, yes. Yeah, 5 skeins of each. And I thought that this would actually be nice for the anacortes pullover. But if I don't get gauge on this for the anacortes pullover, there's a lot of other patterns that this would work for. It's such a common combination, which is why I wanted to get it. I've never done these two together, like held the merino with the soft silk mohair and the Knitting for Olive. I've never made anything with that combination, and a lot of people do, so I was really curious and wanted to give it a try. So that's one of the reasons I got it, and I really liked the color. It's a really good neutral color, and yeah, I think it would make a good garment. They could just go with anything. So yeah, that's what I got, my little bin. I think that's all for acquisitions. I'm pretty sure I didn't get anything else. Like I said, I feel like it's been a long time since I've recorded last, and I feel like a lot has happened, but yeah, I don't think I had any other acquisitions to share. So that's good. And now I don't plan on buying anything until, what did I say? Okay, so this is the problem. I think I said I wasn't planning on buying anything until the summer now, but I forgot that Fibers West is coming up in March, and I'm actually not sure if I'm going to go yet. Megan's not going to be able to go and have a booth there this year, so I'm not helping out, but it'd be nice to just go and peruse it. And so if I end up going, the reason I might not is because I would have to go by myself. I don't have, besides Megan, I don't have any real knitting friends. And so I'd have to go alone, and I don't really want to go alone. I don't like doing that kind of stuff by myself. So if I can talk my husband into it, or my mom or somebody, without feeling bad about making them shop yarn with me, then maybe I'll go. And so I might be buying something in March still. But okay. So that's all I have to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.